Hello and welcome to today's historic Best of 3 deck tech and gameplay video on Legendary Tribal. Now, Legendary Tribal is sort of what you would imagine, but with the new Lord of the Rings set, what are they called? Universes Beyond set. This was like the first deck that really jumped out at me as like a fun thing I'd like to try. Now, Legendary Tribal uses not only legendaries, but cards like your Frodo Baggins, Delighted Halflings, and War of the Last Alliance, on top of, all of the other legendaries, and, some non-legendaries, because they're necessary for the deck. It uses all of these things to build a nice board of like 3 to 4 creatures, and sort of... It's kind of like a mid-rangey list, but it's just a little more beat down, a little more aggressive of a mid-rangey list. And from that, just generally playing good cards with bits of synergy, you want to translate that, hopefully, large amount of value into damage into our opponent's face. And honestly, this deck has been doing pretty good. Not to toot my own horn. The land base is pretty self-explanatory for the most part. A single Grey Haven is a bit of a weird one, but I've had okay experiences with it, but only as a single. 3 Plaza of Heroes as basically legendary fixing and protection. Some green-white lands that come into play untapped, since this deck wants to hit the ground running and, really, hit the ground running and do its thing. Also have the Shire and Minas Tirith, as well as just other bits of legendary lands. The one total sleeper card of a land, if I can hover my cursor over it, is Mobilized District. It is not difficult at all to get Mobilized District to be a 0 mana, i.e. you just turn it on to be a 3/3 with Vigilance until the end of the turn. I did not think this card was going to be like as good as it is, but damn is it really good. The only thing holding it back, and this is probably by design, is the colorless part. But that's, again, probably for the sake of balance. Now, the sideboard is doing, for the most part, what I can to find tech cards that are also legendaries. Example, your Lauren of the Third Path is good against single target artifact and enchantments, but we also do have other things for that, like your Fade from History, because sometimes you need sweepers, and that's a little harder to find. Same reason, we also have, Urza's Ruinous Blast in a similar vein. It is a sweeper that cares about the fact that we play a whole lot of legendaries, and especially in a creature-centric mid-range deck, can often be a one-sided sweeper, although opposing legendary decks of either the same color or similar colors, certain bits of legends here and there will diminish this, but overall it's been a fantastic card. Rest in peace for Graveyard Hates. Shalai for control decks and lots of like single target removal decks. Shalai is great. A couple Arasta of the Endless Webs for the blue-white spell slingery decks that will almost always be around in some form or another in the list. 2 God Eternal Oketras against opposing control list. It's just a very sticky creature that is very difficult to remove and also can build a very large board while you're already just doing the thing that this deck wants to do. A similar thing for Captain Sisse. Something to bring in if you need to go longer, or if you need to, say, bring in Urza's Ruinous Blast, which will oftentimes force the cut of like a War of the Last Alliance. Captain Sisse lets you retain that sort of card draw, tutory function that a War of the Last Alliance would have when you have to dilute your legendary creatures. Now, that is all for this. Well, actually, one more thing. I know this is a particularly long deck tech, but what are you gonna do? There's far too much like weird oddball like legendaries floating around here to go through every single one of them, but hopefully as you see me hover over a lot of them, you can kind of just see that we're just looking for okay-ish legends at various points on the curve that usually have some degree of upside. It's one of those, I'm certain that if you do a list at home, your list will change depending on what legendaries you have access to. So that's the basics of it. Also, and this is the actual last thing, this is the first video where I have changed mics to this headset mic that I've had for a long time, but just never got around to using because I got comfortable with the old mic. Hopefully the audio quality is better and you can't hear my really old dinosaur of a machine run in the background as much, or say, hear the air conditioning in the other room running, etc. But if there are some problems, you know, like certain things are too low or whatever, I have done a little bit of testing with the new audio levels, but you gotta let me know, otherwise, you know, I'm probably gonna miss something. Now, with all of that out of the way, don't forget to like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future. And with that out of the way, we'll go on to game number 1. And game number 1 with our little legendary tribal list. This is a little... it's a little bit of a flood, but, well... yeah, we'll go ahead and mulligan it. I think we'll be alright. Okay, that worked out pretty well. We could take back old Peregrine Tukir. Play a Skrelv on turn 1. Is that the noise that makes? God damn. Anywho, Temple Garden. Paying 2 life. Playing Skrelv. Their Blast Zone on 1 tells me, like, maybe colorless. Okay. I don't know if that's gonna be good or do good, but okay. I'm in it. In that case, we'll play a Frodo Baggins. Guess we'll do Skrelv. Knowing loosely how this deck works, I guess we're gonna bring in Fade from History and Lorn of the Third Paths, if nothing else. Yeah, I think we will go ahead and play a Skyclave Apparition. Just doing what we can, you know, eating into their ramp. Oh, it's a black that run some weird cards. I think we just attack with everything. We don't really have the luxury of time in this particular matchup. This thing 100% wins. That is fantastic. So in that case, we're going to Visage Mutilate or Forsaken Monument. Let's see. Still be able to play a Thalia this turn, which is very nice. I know there are versions of this list that run that even or odd exile sweeper thing. So yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to really do much about that. I think we'll go ahead and make Frodo a Ring Bearer. Why not? Draw them discard. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of use out of Sigrid. I could, you know, totally eat my words and, you know, really hate that I did that, but nothing ventured, I suppose. Let's see. He's not putting any counters on his Blast Zone. He could take a turn off and use one of the Deadlands to get rid of a card. Which is an option. That will eat up his whole turn and set him back a turn on mana, which is pretty nice. Pretty good. I was gonna say I could keep Skrelv open for lands, but lands are considered colorless even if their abilities are not. Go ahead and get rid of their Guardian Idol. Wait for them to... That only is a sorcery, right? Yeah, I thought so. I think we're in an okay spot. How many legendaries do I have? Oh, yeah, boy. Oh, boy. That's not great. Great. Let's see. I guess we can activate the... Hang on. 1, 2, 3. Makes that 1 mana, so we should be able to mobilize District for 1 mana. This is not going to end well. It's just not. Again, do what we can, what damage we can, while we can sneak it in. You know, even if he does a Blast Zone and eats my whole board up, like, I think we're still kind of okay. Right? Because he can't activate both. It's 3 and tap the land, right? So 1, 2, 3, tap a land. Okay, no, he can do both. He can't do both now. Did he? He has to have a sweeper, right? What is the name of that 4-mana black sweeper that I'm thinking of? Right? That has to be what's happening. I think. Flowering the right tree is pretty good. If nothing else, this is gonna make him have to use it now. Very nice. Again, turn on the mobilized district for real cheap. He can get rid of 3 cost points, I believe. As I understand it. So, we can attack... Oh, I think I still kill him. My brain, I was getting at this mind gamey nonsense. Yeah, I still had lethal. I didn't even... I was too busy, like... getting way too ahead of myself here. Huh. What amongst these are legendary? That's legendary. His ramp cards aren't legendary, but I know if he's getting like his Ugins and such of the world, I know those, of course, are legendaries. No shit. So I think, yeah, it's just going to be Lauren of the Third Path and a single fade from history. Samwise, not going to be that useful here. Jaheira's going to be fantastic. I don't think we need as many Samwises here. Boromir's kind of the same. Kinda. Maybe it's Sigrid might go. Yeah. I don't know for a fact that he has that 4-mana exile even or odd thing. Extinction Event, I think, is the name of that card. I knew I'd get there eventually. I think he has that? Or they have that. Let's not be rude. And I'm going to hope that they don't, because that's really the only chance in hell I've got. This is a pretty good hand. Radiant Fountain, that's what we expect. Go ahead and Temple Garden on 1. Play a Delighted Halfling. Nothing else next turn, we could just, you know, play a Boromir and start chunking them for 3. And I think I need to be a little more... Okay, correction, I was gonna Boromir on 3. But really, regardless of what he does here, we're kind of in an okay spot. Like, yeah, he might take the Boromir because that's like the biggest threat, but he might also, you know, take Apparitions. Yeah, I was about to say, because that can mess with his ramping ability. So yeah, we'll go ahead and play Plaza of Heroes, play a Boromir. Just trying to play the biggest thing we got in the whole building, basically. If you're Deadlands, it's 4 mana. Yes, 4 in the mana. That. Another Plaza is very nice, so it can do Arc Bow and a Defector Might. Go face with everything else. And now, or well, all the things, you know, being equal. Play a land next turn, chunk in for some more damage. Oh, he has Bowmasters. I think if he gets rid of that, yeah, I think we can play that. So, I think our plan remains largely the same. Is this? I'm almost certain Jim Davis did a list like this, like really like a couple days ago. As of recording, anyway. It was Extinction Event. I knew I knew that fucking card. Okay, so he's getting rid of all of my stuff anyway, so we might as well get our first chapter here. That's not great. This is one of those we don't really have the luxury of doing anything. The Lighted Halfling is not that useful. I hate that we have to pass, but we kind of just have to pass. If nothing else, we can Arc Bow in the middle of combat. Ooh. God. Yeah, he's kind of drawing the nuts.
My purpose is greater than myself.
Yeah, whatever you say, Karn. Oh boy. Oh dear. So yeah, my original point was, why is... Okay, I guess that's removal. But you have black. Just run actual removal. What are we doing? Oh, right, I can't activate the fucking... That might actually just be me dead. that case, just run our hand out. And sit there and pray for, mercy. But likely get none. Which is awfully cool. Yeah, that really screwed me. Arcbow was kind of going to be like a way to dig deep, and yeah, when your like collecting company replacement is an artifact and they play a Karn the Great Creator, you're just kind of screwed. I actually think I think I just lose here, which is like really unfortunate. What else are you? Why? Don't name Arcbow. Please don't be that dumb. Please don't be that dumb while you have the Karn on the board. Are you really that concerned of it dying? Seems very odd. It's absolutely goddamn brutal. I mean, I'm gonna attack the Karn because I don't got anything else to do anyway. But he could just block with both. I don't think I'd value the Bowmaster that high if I was our opponent here. Yeah, the Karn means way more to you. Yeah, I was about to say, that's the correct thing to do. Okay. Let me walk back my shit-talking statement from earlier. If they were comfortable with giving away the Karn, then playing the Sorceress Spyglass on it makes more sense. That is hexproof, right? That should fizzle. He pays the 1, then I can pay the 3, and I can exile it. This should fizzle. Okay, good. That's what I thought. That's better. I don't know if that's that good in this list. Yeah, and honestly, I'm just going to keep on attacking. I can't do anything else anyway. Just going to sit here and hope. First turn, yeah. When ETB, but the second part is. So the first one they draw. Okay. After the first draw, amass and ping. That's fine. Crystal Grotto is a thing. Does he crack a Mind Stone? Does he have something to do? Okay. Our opponent, like, has the nuts, right? Okay, to be fair, the One Ring is good enough. Yeah, I'm almost... Maybe except for the Mind Stone and the Stone, I think this is, like... At its core, that mono black, colorless ramp video thing that Jim Davis did. As I just lose my... Cool. That's neato. I think that's actually it, unless I draw, like, something amazing off the top. That's not exactly amazing, but that's pretty kind of close a little bit. And I get a bear out of it? Yeah, sure. Why not? It's something. It's not much of something, but we gotta, do what we can. Non-creatures or artifacts? Non-artifacts. Okay. Some micro-synth, whatever. Mirrors. Okay. That's it. Let's just get me out of here, for the love of God. Maybe one Arcbow goes out for one Sisay, so I'm not, like, all in on the Arcbow, like, giving me, like, sort of a repeatable collected company style effect, as it is intended to be in a matchup that isn't this. Again, play first, because we have a brain. That's not bad. That's fine. I gotta be, like, really aggressive, but, that's not really a statement. On white. Why not? Well, these lands are pathways, it doesn't matter that much. That's okay. That's something. That's a little better. Portal on 2, Aragorn on 3. Admittedly, that's not gonna, like, super matter, because I'm not playing a whole lot of creatures. But it's, like, Good enough. Huh. Yeah, first strike, vigilance, death touch, entirely arbitrary. I think it's actually Varus. I think that's actually the play. And then we can do Aragorn if we want. Lauren is a fantastic draw. Holy hell. Peregrine 2, get out of here. If they play, like, a Hedron Archive, or whatever that card's called, are you adding blast zone counters? Because if you do that and don't play a land this turn, then I'm just going to lure in your Cold Steel Heart. I think that's, like, the play. I can't lure in your One Ring. I think that's still the play. Or my play of luring their Cold Steel, I think is the correct thing to do still. Yeah. Pathway on white. Luring of the third path. Honestly, Annihilation is just the quickest and complete most damage. Get rid of your Cold Steel Heart. Admittedly, they're probably just gonna draw a land. Like, I'm not blind to this reality. Keep going with Frodo as our ring bearer for the flavor. Aragorn is actually not that useful here. 3, 3, and 2. I think we play a Thalia next turn, or even all that in mind. I mean, we're playing a Captain Sisay now. Yeah. Captain Sisay. Frodo Baggins as my ring bearer, please. Skrelv is not that useful. Okay, $1 million question is, what do we tutor with Captain Sisay? 5 mana. He doesn't have the mana to use the Deadlands, whatever the card's called. So there's that. I think, yeah, I just have to, like, respond to what my opponent's is doing here. What are we doing here, opponent? Drawn. We are drawing. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh dear. Oh god. Our opponent is the tank, and so am I. If nothing else next turn, we can play a Flowering of the White Tree, and play some, you know, big scary thing. But they haven't really shown, like, the most amount of removal, right? Like, single target, anyway. Ward's is on abilities, right? That's fair. Okay. Another Cold Steel Heart. Am I... How much is Ruinous Blast? 5 mana? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So do I... That's the question. Yeah, I think we're just gonna do it now. I don't think there's, like, a better time we're gonna have to do this. Did I? Oh, I didn't put it in. Right. Right, I didn't because they had a lot. Okay, my brain... I'm dumb. In that case, then it's Lauren and then a Flowering. Let's do that first, however. And you know, they are going to take a lot of damage from the One Ring itself. It's, like, actually not the worst thing on the planet. But the Flowering here kind of allows me... I'm sorry, did they screw me for a second there? Yeah, they actually screwed me. I should have paid attention to the thing. That's on me. Yeah, get rid of the Mind Stone. Now, he's going to have a brain and yeah, sack the thing. Pardon? okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah, okay. That threw me the hell off. Actually, I think we can get rid of Thalia. They have enough land to cast anything. Oh, that's right. But you have to block. So, like, if, yeah, ping me in a math for one, but, like, you know, taking some damage. Well, they are playing real fast and loose with their life total. Which, I mean, good on them. What are you gonna do? Okay. My whole board has ward. I have to remember to make sure, I have to remember to, like, keep open the mobilized district mana, because that thing's free. Or basically free. Especially with what I draw next turn with old Captain Sissy here. Or Sissay, pardon. Our opponent's in the tank. Another Deadlands. He doesn't... Oh, right, that's named on black. Okay, he does have enough to activate a Deadland and sack it, but he'd have to pay the 1 for the war to get rid of Loran. And really, Loran's kind of done all it needs to do. Okay. I mean, you can ramp. That's the thing. Oh, playing a new one so he doesn't take all the damage from the old one. Oh, you gain protection from everything. Right. That's cool. Okay, so what are we doing here? I can't target my opponent, but I can target their stuff. So what are we going to look for here? What do we look for here? There's no point in getting rid of the Bowmasters because I'm going to attack with the... Can I attack if he has? That's a good question. I don't know if I can attack with a creature if he has protection from everything, including creatures. Let's see what we can get off of this. It's not really the answer we're looking for here. There is a Beseiju. Yeah. Calm down. Here is not bad. Yeah, I think we'll use her. Now, Shakira here. We will likely specialize and throw away a Thalia. Getting rid of their Hedron Archive as any form of card draw is bad for us. Yeah, he can draw with his 1 ring, but he's going to be able to do that no matter what I do. I don't really have a whole lot of say on that. So, Shakira, activate you. Specializing on white. Throwing away a Thalia. Destroy an artifact or enchantment. And put some counters on my dudes. And now we're going to find out if I can attack with Frodo. Because I won't do damage to him. That much I know. Like, I'm cool with that. That's fine. I don't need the Isamaru. Yeah, he's going to make a thing. Yeah. Do your thing. I forgot the 1 ring drawing is going to... You know, that Orcish Bowmaster actually kind of makes, like good thematic sense, you know? Like, being able to, like, sort of, like, hunt, you know, for the Ring Bearer. And when one of the abilities of the ring is, like, activated, it, like, summons an army to, like, combat the Ring Bearer. That's, like, flavorful. There's a good chance we still just die, which isn't great. I don't love that. Man, that's kind of... Well, there goes that as an option. Ye goddamn ha. Yeah, yeah. And sometimes they just... Pardon, I accidentally hit the mic. I'm not used to the headset mic. Yeah, sometimes our opponent draws Ugin and then, like, manages to climb out a win. That's cool. Oh well. Still pretty good game, though. And sort of showed what the deck did. Really more an effort that, you know, this game does show what the deck is able to do, but also shows that, like, Ugin's, like, the thing you ramp into in this format. It's just, it's so good. Now, on to game number 2. And game number 2 with our little legendary tribalist. Again, we go first because we have a brain. And it's a 1-lander, so we throw it back. This is better. Guess we can get rid of Aragorn. We don't really have anything to do with it anyway. Go ahead and play Minas Tirith while it comes into play tapped anyway. We also didn't have a 1-drop as it is. In that case, I think we might actually play Flowering of the White Tree. Blue-white control. This will be fun. And long. Oh, that was Esper control. That's way different. Let's go ahead and play the Plaza of Heroes. Play a Samwise Gamgee and a Delighted Halfling. Get some food going. Probably, what, Censor? Sorry? Okay. Credit given where it's due. I was not expecting Esper Spirits. Right? That's the only reason you run that. There's no way that's just, like, a pet card in a control deck. You have to be, like, actual, factual Esper Spirits. That's fine. There's only one thing to take. By all means, do what you gotta do. Kind of in an okay spot, right? Yeah, just go and attack. Whatever spirit he decides to play, assuming he decides to play one block, which is what one would assume, I can just, like, Gonzo it down. Oh, it has to block. Whoops. Still maintain it's the right thing to do. Get rid of the Lord. Yeah. Go play on a white. Let's see what we're gonna draw. Admittedly, we are top decking. Great. King of Pardon? Oh, that's where the block comes in. King of the Oathbreakers, or the spirit becomes the target of a spell. It phases out. When it or another spirit you control phases in, create a 1/1. That's pretty cool. Alright. I don't know if that's the only black card that I know that cares about spirits, but now I'm in it. 100%. That probably could have been used as a blocker. But that's fine. Odd, but fine. That's fine. Honestly, I think I actually am going to crack the food. Like, a little low on life total. Skrell's an option. Yeah, I guess we'll do this Skrell. If nothing else, it lets us take the hit next turn by just, you know, making a food and eating said food. Yeah, it's not great. We're not over the moon about that. But again, we can, you know, gain some life here. Boromir's a great draw. We can keep the Skrell here as, like, interaction if they happen to have removal spells. But I'd be very surprised if they did. I was about to say, counter spells is another option that I had forgotten. In that case, I think we just swing out, right? Yeah. Because it went straight from counterspell to the next phase, so get it tapped. Feeling pretty good. Thalia's not bad. It is not bad at all. So in that case, I think we can play a Thalia here. And that's going to also get countered. Okay, that's fair. It's not great. But we do it. I think we're going to Skrell. I can tap that for white. On Samwise, naming protection, or can't be blocked, sorry, in hexproof. I guess we'll say from black. So that if he wants to block, he has to block with the rattle chains. And that'll take away, should take away his instant speed. He might just take the 4. But that's, like, real aggressive to do that. Especially when we're both in, like, a top decking war. This is the question. Does our opponent block with the rattle chains? Because honestly, he's got like spirits to block with next turn. He does block with the rattle chains. That's good. Provided he doesn't draw like a whole lot of interaction here. Alright! I was about to say we could have, just as a reference here, if he didn't play any sort of interaction, we could have Skrelv, gave and say Samwise or whatever happened to live, protection, or not being able to be blocked by white, and that would get through all of his creatures on his board. That was the initial plan. There's a whole lot of creatures. Don't see a whole lot of legendary ones, except for the old king himself, which is a thing. So maybe some Urzas are coming in, and some War of the Last Alliance are going out. Anything else we really want to do? That's a good question. What else? He did have some instants and sorceries, so maybe we can bring some Arasta in. Isamaru didn't appear to be that good. Samwise might be good in here to keep, so we're going to keep that card. Thalia, Heretic Cathar doing pretty good. Old Moon Druid's a little slow, so yeah, that's going to be our sideboard strategy. I love you, honey. We'll go hang out. Daddy doing something. Thank you. Okay. I love our opponent's deck, though. I really do. I don't know if Lord of the Rings gave us any other like black what's the word, payoff cards for spirits, but the sheer fact that our opponent is trying this is fantastic. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's a 2-drop and things to do, when odds are we'll draw something. Even if we don't, playing the Arcboat on 2 will, odds are, give us something to do on turn 3. Even if we brick, which does happen. Unless he just thought seizes away my Arcboat. Also an option. Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think I would have gotten rid of the Arasta here. That is a little too far off to be concerned about. Okay, okay. I guess Plaza of Heroes. Next turn, we can play the Grey Haven to scry and sort of see what our next draw is going to be. Yeah, the play remaining cards are the same. Frodo's pretty good. That case, let's go with Samwise here in case they, what's the name of that one? Lofty Denial thing. I was about to say, that way I could pay the mana. Of course, if he just, pushes it, then he's in trouble anyway. But I maintain that my initial reasoning of playing the card that gave us the mana to do the thing is, like, where it's at. Okay, forget everything else I was going to do this turn. We are going to Apparition away the King of the Ogres. It's not the target of a spell, it's the target of an ability, so it doesn't trigger. That's a good question. A land's very nice. Think we'll play the Pathway on green. Playing a Frodo Baggins. See if our opponent does anything. See what our opponent is gonna decide to get rid of and what they won't. They could also just be sitting on another rattle chains, and this could all be like an exercise in futility. I think we will make Skyclave our ring bearer here. In the off chance we draw like a flowering of the white tree next turn. They did have a counterspell. Okay. Okay. That's fine. They're answering my board a whole lot, but for what appears to be a spirit tribal-y list kind of thing, they're playing it much more control-y. Well, that sucks. Much more control-y than I would advise. But okay, that's fine. It's annoying I lose the Arasta, but oh well. Yeah. On the bright side, because also not in, let me rephrase this. Upon further reflection, it's actually good that I gave the Skyclave Apparition the ring, as it's now legendary and can be buffed with the Plaza Heroes. That was going to be my original point. Arasta's kind of great. Yeah, they could have another Lofty Denial, but now we're doing good. Let's see. Hall the Storm Giants takes 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so he can't activate the Hall and block with the Hall. Pretty good. Oh, yeah. 100%. We're in a good spot. Arasta will hopefully, because they appear to be playing more of those instants and sorceries in their weird Sindoi way. Arasta now gave us the ability to, like, you know, sort of not care about what our opponent did. One of those, the spiders Arasta would have made would have dealt with whatever flyers that are inherent in a tribal list. Let me talk about... No! Hooray, I double-clicked it. But yeah, the Arasta both would have given me spiders from them trying to control my board, as well as those spiders, as well as the Arasta itself, having reach also gave me the ability to deal with whatever flyers and therefore spirits would have came out of that deck. Same thing with that Varus Silvery Moon General card, also has reach. Again, where this deck thrives is... And this will be different depending on your collection if you decide to do something like this at home. Don't be too committed to the exact cards, maybe with a couple exceptions like your Frodos and Sams. Those are like really kind of pivotal. And your Delighted Halflings. Those are the only ones you sort of kind of need. The other ones, there are loads of weird, like, corner case, edgy, normally wouldn't be good enough to see play legends, like all of those uncommon ones that you see me play, like the Rasads and the Jalira Harper whatever specialized one, or Sigrid. All of these weird, what used to sort of be in like the bulk rare category, even though they aren't all rares, but we'll say bulk legendary. We'll use that new term. This is a deck where those bulk legendaries can really shine, as this is what the whole thing is supposed to... The whole deck is supposed to be, basically, a weird hodgepodge, almost like a fellowship, if you will, of, like, an eclectic cast of, like, you know, weird legendary heroes and, like, all the weird shit they bring to the table. This deck has been so much fun to play. I really, really, really hope... Let me get rid of this on the screen. That you guys at home will go and try out some version of this. It's been a fantastic list. It's one of those I've had a whole lot of fun, and you can absolutely guarantee I will come back to this in the future, either through, you know, they add some more legendary support, or like really good legendaries that I think would be like nice in the toolbox, you know, aspect. As this deck, as we talked about, has loads of just toolbox ones floating around. Yeah, I will 100% revisit this one in the future, and I hope you play it as well. Well, now, with this out of the way, again, I apologize for the, if the audio levels are weird, or if something sounds different. Again, I am trying this whole new mic, or, not new mic, making use of the headset mic that I've had for a long time, and just never really bothered to use. So, if it sounds weird, or better, please let me know. It sounds better to me in my head, but you know, I'm me. I'm biased here. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, to subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future. And if you have any sort of budget concerns, like, hey, I don't have X, what about Y? I hope that little rant over the last couple of minutes showed you, you know, the reality of not having every single card here. You'll be fine. And remember, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together.